Hello, my name is Chris Getz. Welcome to my video on boxing for street self-defense. I think boxing is probably the best way for you to defend yourself in any situation. There's a lot of martial arts out there, a lot of self-defense systems, but boxing is probably the best. It's probably what makes it a great sport to watch, because it's the way people fight. People fight with their hands. They punch each other. And learning how to punch somebody and avoid being punched is a good way to fight. And you're going to need it. So when someone attacks you, they're going to punch you. I guarantee you. They're not going to do anything else. They're going to come in there, they're going to throw a punch at you, and you're going to need to be able to block that punch, punch them right back. So let's talk about what we do in boxing and how it's going to relate to a street self-defense situation. The first thing is you want to have a good stance. We're going to find our stance the same way we have. It's going to be shoulder width in distance this way. It's going to be about the same in depth. You don't want to get too wide. You want to keep it where you can be mobile. You want to get up off your back foot, and you want to get your hands up like that. So get sideways. Get as sideways as you can. This is your best protection. If you're sideways, you got your shoulder to defend. It's probably one of the best ways to take most of the punches right there on the shoulder. Have your hands up there also. And you want your right hand here to defend yourself, and you want it in a position where you can punch really well. So we're going to go over the basics of boxing. Now we talked about the stance right here. You got a good stance. You're up on your knees. I want you to get in a real rooted position. I want you to feel real low. So it's going to be natural for you to sit down like that, because you also want to be able to resist someone who's rushing you. If they're rushing you and trying to tackle you, you want to have a good stance where you can fend them off. So it's a little bit like when you're in football stance, when you come out of a three-point stance like this, you want to have a good, solid base. Okay, your hands are up to defend against any punches, and you want to be able to move. If that person's rushing in, you want to be able to shuffle back. Shuffle back. Okay, I'm going to start here again. Now, the reason I started shuffling back is because you're on the defensive. People are rushing you. You know, you're not out there looking for a fight. As a boxer, you have a responsibility not to go out there and pick fights. If someone's picking a fight with you, you're on the defensive. You're going to need to be able to move back. You want to have a good step, measurable step going backwards. You have to have your right foot and your left foot move equal distances. Don't have a stance that comes up and all of a sudden you're out of position like this, your feet are too close and you're no longer rooted. You want to have a very good low stance and shuffle in equal steps like this. Okay? Now you're also going to have to be able to shuffle forward too. Because after you step back and make somebody miss a punch, you may have to move back in to capitalize and punch them. Just like in regular boxing, footwork is the utmost importance. So when you're moving forward, you want to be able to move that forward foot first. Now the stances have to be, or the steps have to be equal. You don't want to take a step that's shorter than any other. So take equal steps. Okay? Stepping backward and stepping forward. You also have to be able to do a side step. Step to the side, one way or the other. Now keep your height down when you're stepping. Don't raise up. And be able to move quickly. So you want to have good footwork when you're doing your boxing. Now the footwork has to be of equal steps. So you move that left foot and then you move your right foot, they have to be of equal steps. When you move forward, the forward foot goes first. Now when I move back, I want to move the back foot first. Now this is probably the most important, be able to step back, get some distance between you and your opponent, make them miss your shot. So let's practice stepping backward one more time. Let's get down our stance, let's practice sitting down, and as we move, you want to stay nice and level and low. So you take the right foot and you step back, and then you draw the left foot up. Now I'm still up off my back heel, ready to spring forward again. Let me take one more step backwards. Step back. And now I'm going to start moving forward again. I'm going to push out my left foot and then draw my right foot in like this. So I step and then I draw that right foot up. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to push off my front foot, push that back foot back, and then draw my forward foot to here. So I push back. I push myself forward. I push myself forward. And I push myself back. Just like in regular boxing, you're going to need to be able to sidestep. So we're going to step to the side, left foot, right foot. Just like that. Let me do that again. So I'm going to move left foot, right foot. Now I have to be in the same stance with my right foot behind me, ready to move. My knees bent, low in my stance. And I'm going to come back to where I was. Now that's the way I move to my right. So if I'm going to sidestep to my right, I move my right foot and then my left foot. Okay, I'm going to return, and I step right foot, left foot again. Now I have to be careful I don't end up in a cross position. Let's go back. So I move my right foot. If I move my left foot too far, I'm going to be a little bit crossed. And there I'm vulnerable. So I can get pushed over very easily. By the same token, if I step too far with my right foot and then not enough with my left foot, I'm kind of open. So I'm presenting a lot of targets to my opponent, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay very sideways. The good thing about boxing is that you learn to get to the sideways position. It has a lot of leverage. You're very protected. You're hard to hit. The only danger is that you could end up crossing yourself and be a little bit off balance. So it's a delicate position. It takes a lot of training. Right? And sidestepping to the left again. Now, of course, you want to be able to do this quickly. So you want to practice it slowly, make sure your feet move correctly, and then practice it quickly, because that's how it's going to be practically applied. And then sidestepping to the right. Let's put all these different footworks in a little drill, because you're going to be moving around in a street fight quite a bit, and you want to practice it so that it's second nature to move forward, back, sideways, wherever you need to go. So we're going to go forward and then back. Now take your time, make sure your steps are equal. So you may want to look down, check them, right? And then look up and do it. All right, back. To the left, to the right. Okay, we'll do it one time in each direction. So forward and back to the center, back, return to the center, to the left and return to the center, and to the right and return to the center. We'll put it all together in a drill. Now, besides being able to move in these four directions, you want to be able to circle your opponent also. So, as people change, you may not want to have your back against the wall. You want to be able to move out where you can escape. So you want to be able to circle. And we'll circle back to the right. Let me start here in front of the camera again. When you're circling, you're not taking equal steps anymore, because your right foot is going to swing a little bit further. You're moving around the clock, so to speak. So if I'm moving around the clock, my left foot is going to be closer to the center than my right foot. So my right foot is going to have to take a little bigger sweep in order to put me in the same position. So I go left foot, and my right foot sweeps a little bit this way, because I want to maintain that narrow stance. Now, I got to be careful I don't go so far as to cross my feet. So this would be a mistake. Right, I'm going to complete this circle. Okay, that's the drill you should do. Just do a couple laps around that circle. Once you complete that, go in the opposite direction. Now when you go this way, and you move to your right, move your right foot first. Once you complete that, you've gone each direction several times. Practice changing directions. So take a few steps to your left, stop, and then changing, move to your right, circle to your right. So just like in regular boxing, you want this footwork to be second nature. Footwork against an assailant is going to look like this. Now, one, you're not going to be coming out of a corner. So the other opponent in a boxing fight is coming from the other corner, which is 20 feet away. So when he comes out of that corner, you got plenty of time to stand up and get your guard, move to your left or move to your right, whatever you're going to do. Usually in a self-defense situation, the guy's going to come from a lot quicker, or a lot closer. So when he comes in here like this, I first have to get back to my stance right away. That's going to be your first step. So let's try it again. So when he makes a move towards me and I see it, I'm going to drop to my stance and get my hands up. Now from here, as the punch comes in, I got to take another step back to get out of the way. So you're going to have to drop to your stance and then immediately shuffle back. Now, what I would recommend is taking 2 steps back. If you have the room, take 2 steps back. So I see something's going on, I drop, and then I step. So I start stepping right away. Now, even if you get hit a little bit, you're going with the blow. So you're going to take some of the force with you. So the punch comes in, right, it hits you, I'm going with it. And that's going to be a big advantage. You don't want to be standing still, and you certainly don't want to go into it. So when the punch comes in, drop, and then come back. So as you see, moving back takes a lot of the force with it. So as he comes in, I'm dropping back and I'm taking another step. Now as soon as I take that step and he misses me, once I make him miss, I want to make him pay. This is a good boxing term. So he misses this way, I want to be able to step back in, so I'm going to need that footwork where I move forward. And then I'm going to deliver my punches. So again, I got to get out of the way. And then I got to be able to come right back in. Boom. Throw my punch. Don't forget about sidestepping. Once I drop back, my opponent may not punch me. He may decide to kick me. So I want to get out of the way this way. Now, a good thing is about sidestepping is he's going to be off balance. I can hit him from the side here. So again, I'm starting here like this. I see my opponent coming at me. I drop in and I step. Let's take a look at it from this angle. So push cut comes in. I want to sidestep this way. And I want to turn back and punch. Okay, go back. So I drop back to my stance. I see that kick coming in, and I want to get out of the way. Your best defense is movement. Move away from these blows.